I've got 90 days clean today. I'm really excited about it. McShin has been a major force in my life for the past couple years. I came to McShin a couple years ago after struggling with an addiction problem. Stayed here for 5 months and really found recovery for the first time. The spiritual side of the program is something that I hadn't gotten a hold of and hadn't yet received a message of hope until I came here a couple years ago. Unfortunately, I didn't take all the suggestions. There were some suggestions that were given to me that I didn't think applied to me. I felt like I was unique to the point where I could handle certain things and not work the full program. That caught up with me. I came back, thank goodness. I made it through my awful relapse, and I came back 3 months ago, and it's been really grand fun. I enjoy recovery. McShin is like my home and my safe harbor in the midst of the world that just flies around me, and it gives me a steady foundation and a family environment and the hope that I need to carry on every day.
All right, thank you, Karin. What was your life like before you said that you came to McShin the first time and you found recovery initially? Like, what was your life like?
I had been using actively on and off for years, since my early 30s. I'm 47 now. I have some other co-occurring disorders, and in my late 20s, right about the time I turned 30, the psychiatrist that had been treating me since I was 15 died. And that was a huge loss. I'm not really good with abandonment issues or any type of feelings like I'm being, abandoned. And on top of that, the medications that I was taking routinely since I was 15 eventually expired, and I didn't get them refilled. I had a very, very difficult time finding another psychiatrist to take the place of, or at least take the responsibilities of that person in my life, and that could understand the medications needed for me. Some of my co-occurring disorders are borderline personality disorder and bipolar 2, type 2 NOS. And with those comes some psychotic features. The depression gets really bad. And when that started happening, I started medicating myself. I was about 31, 32. I was married at the time, living in Manhattan. And once I started using alcohol and then some other drugs abusively, my life really went down the tubes fast. I got separated, and I was ultimately homeless on the street after years of trying to be in and out of recovery programs that never seemed to fit for me.
Thank you, Karin. What is your what do you see yourself going in the future?
Wow, I for the first time have, like I said before, a sense of hope. Like I said, I'm getting up there in my life. I'm not one of the early youngsters that seem to be finding this program, and I'm so grateful that they're here. But I don't have an opportunity at this point for to start a new family and to have children. I never had children, but I'm really interested in working in the fields where I've gained some experience and can help people that have suffered or are suffering through the same things that I've suffered through. I feel like carrying on the message inside the rooms and outside of the rooms, and to those people associated with the program through family loss or whatever there may be for the need for somebody to help and spread the word that there is hope available. And with co-occurring disorders too, it gets a little complicated. For instance, with me, to treat all the different disorders that can come up, and to get them diagnosed properly and treated properly. But the basic fundamental thing I found is that substance use disorder needs to be treated immediately, and then all the other things can follow after that.
Thanks, Karin. I'm going to go off topic for a second and talk about co-occurring, because a lot of people don't really know what that is. So co-occurring is when you have a mental health issue as well as a substance use disorder, and here at McShin, we're not a medical facility. So how do we, can you tell us kind of your experience with how we handle that here, because we don't have doctors or licensed
Right.
therapists?
McShin's not a clinical facility, but over just in my time here, in the 2 years that I was here, 2 years ago, and then now that I'm back for the past 3 months, I have gotten enormous supportive help, not in treating my other illnesses, but in getting me to and understanding and being, like I said, a support system when I'm in need of other treatment. I go to a psychiatrist that I found in the past 8 years on a weekly basis, and McShin helps me get rides to and from that appointment. I've been involved in therapies at Henrico Mental Health. They got me hooked up there so that I can have groups that pertain to dual diagnosis therapy. So while they don't treat my other illnesses here, they are very supportive and understanding that there are other things that go into a person's makeup and that special help is needed, with a little bit of leeway in making sure I take my medicines on time for my other illnesses. Very, very supportive. And that's helpful, because a lot of times when people have a co-occurring mental health issue, we're not so good at taking our medicines. We start feeling like they're affecting us, or we figure we're cured. That's a classic one that people might hear, and we just stop taking our medicines. And then, McShin staff and peers will notice that I'm not, behaving in the same ways that I normally do, and will help me a little bit. Karen, are you on your meds? Karen, have you been to your appointments lately? And it's really a supportive and encouraging environment here.
Thank you, Karen. That's perfect, actually. Exactly what I was hoping for. And is there anything else that you want to add?
Sure. I think that, I touched on this earlier, that the spiritual side of the program I found very scary. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't come from a religious structure, but there's something in the meeting room in McShin, whether it be a group or a lecture or one of the 12-step program meetings, that I know my higher power's there when we all come together. And I thank McShin for that.
All right. Thank you, Karen.